All right, this is our video for Tuesday, April 14th. We are going to work on reviewing solving equations and formulas, just kind of a reminder of how our week's going to go. For Monday, we had a video about the changes to AMI, and you did a little bit of a vocabulary work and took a survey. Today, we're going to review solving equations and formulas. Wednesday, we're going to solve inequalities. Thursday, we are going to review solving absolute value equations and inequalities. All of your homework is due Thursday at midnight for this week. Then on Friday, we'll have a little quiz, more of an ACT style quiz on these topics from the week. All right, you guys are good solvers. You're even better solvers now at this point than you were back in August when we worked on this. And so I just want to quickly review solving equations. We would call these linear equations now that we have solved quadratics and cubics and all those other fun types of equations. So these are just basic linear equations. And so our first step would be to distribute, and be sure and distribute that negative. So we'd have negative 3x, and negative 3 times 4/3 would be negative 4. Those 3's would cancel out just like we did last week. On the right side, we have 2x plus 3. So I have negative 2x minus 4 equals 2x plus 3. I want to get my x's on one side and my numbers on the other, so I'm going to add 2x and subtract 3. I have negative 7 is equal to 4x. And by now you know that I prefer the fraction answer. So leave it as negative 7/4. You shouldn't have any problem with those. But sometimes we do still have problems with solving formulas. And we did this in chapter 7 when we were talking about solving inverse functions. You've got to do the opposite. But for some reason, our brain sometimes has trouble when we've got more than one letter. So we're going to have a formula, an equation with lots of letters, and it's going to say solve it for the indicated variable. So we're going to solve this one for x. And so you could distribute, but when we were working with inverse functions and when we did these way back in August, we talked about how you could multiply by the reciprocal of 9/4 first, just to get rid of it, but you cannot touch the 3 until you get rid of the 9/4. So now I really shouldn't have written those parentheses. If I were writing on the board, I would erase them, but they're not needed anymore once that 4/9 is gone. And so the last thing I need to do is subtract the 3. So x would equal 9/4 g minus 3. And this is our answer. I know you guys don't like that because it's not a nice number, but you can handle it. And these are the types of things that are on that ACT. They want you to, in the chemistry and they just calculus, they want you to be able to manipulate an equation for a variable, even though you're not getting a nice number for an answer. So we could have distributed, but instead we multiplied by the reciprocal. Division means multiply by the reciprocal of 9/4. So these cancel out, leaves x plus 3. And then all we have to do is subtract the 3 over to the other side. You want to look at one more. If we have k and then parentheses y plus 3z equals 4, x minus 5, and we want to solve for the y. So I could divide the k, but there's a lot more involved here, so I'm just going to distribute the k first. So I'm going to have k times y plus 3kz, and I'm going to distribute the 4. So that would give us 4x minus 20. Now again, I'm trying to solve for the y. So the y is being multiplied by k and added to 3kz. Now you really have to think and to work on opposites. We're trying to get the y by itself. It's got something that's multiplied and something that's added. We always get rid of the part that's being added first. So I'm going to subtract the 3kz over to the other side. That's going to leave ky equals 4x minus 20 minus 3kz. None of those are like terms, so I cannot combine them. I want the y completely by itself, so I need to divide everybody by k. And we're just going to leave our answer. We're not going to try and reduce. And we learned in chapter 9 that you can't cancel the k's unless you could factor it out completely, and we can't factor it out completely. And so this bothers us, but this is our answer. It's getting the y by itself. So you're going to have a few problems to work. You're going to have a worksheet with, I think it's 5 problems on it. Some are going to be just the basic solving of the linear equations, no quadratics, nothing fancy, just solving those linear equations. And then you're going to have a few of these formula where you're going to solve for the indicated variable. Think about the order of operations. Make sure you're doing it in the opposite order. These are skills that we use with inverse functions and in lots of other types of problems.